we were on the air yesterday during the crossover as the Giants game was just about ending. And then we, of course, did a lot of reacting to another Giants loss.
Another one.
Their fifth consecutive loss, 4 of them by 1 run. They go 1-5 on that road trip. They're off today. They're back home beginning tomorrow with the Angels in town, then the Brewers after that. We talked about the incident that resulted in Tony Vitello's ejection from the game yesterday. The Giants were up 3-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning, a leadoff double. There was the question of Pasquantino, who doubled, whether he was pushed off of second base by Adames' tag or not. It was ruled that he was pushed off the bag, which means the out safe call at second base cannot be reviewed. Tony Vitello was a little hesitant, Dibs, to get out and argue and protest the call and get in the umpire's face. It ultimately did result in his ejection, but even his ejection has angered Giants fans, Dibs. Did you hear what Shasky and Lubman, who was in for Spadoni today, did you hear how they opened their show?
I did not, actually.
Do you want to hear it?
I would love to. I slept in today. And
nice. Here's Shasky on Vitello getting ejected, but not being aggressive enough, not showing enough emotion, not standing up for his guys enough. Here's Shasky.
But today I want to talk about Tony Vitello. I pounded the table for the guy. I wanted them to go out and get someone who was younger with more energy, more motivation, just something different. I wanted something different. And it has been an absolute nightmare. And yesterday was symbolic of me, of everything that has gone wrong with the Tony Vitello hire and just how lackluster everything is. It's not about, is he safe? Is he out? Did he push him? Did he not? It was like, dude, fight for this team.
Yes.
Now, do I believe him getting ejected is going to change the season in the way the Red Sox have gone and ripped off 15 or 16 in a row? No, I don't. Okay, I'm not that naive. But come on, Tony, fight for something. Fight for something. Willy Adames, and I've got my own issues and my own grievances with Willy Adames, was looking into the dugout, begging for somebody to come out there and have his back. All right? And you left him wanting more. You took the trash out begrudgingly. That's the analogy that I would use here. You cleaned your room after being yelled at 17 times. That's not cleaning your room, right? And I'm using these as analogies. You got to go out of your way. You got to lose your mind. So after this whole sequence happens, okay? And again, I'm not here to say that throwing a third base or getting in a guy's face and spitting and this and that is going to change the outlook. But show me you care. I thought you were brought in to have some fire. How does Dave Fleming in the moment have more anger for the situation and the rubble that is the Giants season than you, the manager? Fight for your guys. Fight for your job. Fight that you care for us, the fans. Show me something. And it's not about this play. It's about the symbolism and what it metaphorically means for everything. I am not scapegoating Tony. There's so many issues. I just want to talk about Tony today.
That was Joe Shasky, how they kicked off their show this morning on the Morning Roast. Vitello got ejected, but it wasn't aggressive enough. He didn't defend his guys enough. Willy Adames is out there at second base, kind of like looking at the dugout, like, somebody please come have my back, defend me. I did not push this guy off second base. I don't care if the call gets overturned or not. It wasn't going to get overturned. Even if it was reviewable, he probably was safe anyway. That's not the point. The point is the manager in a trying time with a veteran that it's been bumpy with so far this season, you go out and you have your guys back. And in Shasky's mind, it didn't feel like Vitello had his guys back enough. Is that fair?
For your job.
Is that fair?
Show me you care.
Tips?
It's fair. I don't know if it is necessarily like the turning point. And for me, I turned a long time ago and, shout out Kalshi. And I did the thing about maybe 2 months ago where
you're on it.
Out by December 1st, Tony Vitello, it was a yes for me. And so many people are like, no. And it still probably is a no. But when you look at yesterday, like, that was a moment where it did feel like Willy Adames, he puts the tag on. He didn't really push him at all. Yeah. And yet the umpire says safe, and it's not reviewable. So it's not reviewable, but it's a bad call. So if you're the manager and you see this, like, get mad. And he did get mad, but it took a little bit of time. And I don't need him to get so mad like that he's going to kick dirt like old school or grab second base and throw it into center field. But come out and show that you feel like there's that passion. And it kind of seemed like he was waiting for Willy Adames to look in and say, yeah, we're getting screwed. Can you please come out here and fight for me?
I think it's just about having a feel and a sense for what the team needs. And to Shasky's point, and I agree with him here, to Shasky's point, it's not about this turning the season around, and it's not about even that call getting turned around. It's about just sensing everything that's happened up to this point this season, and it has been a terrible season for everybody involved. Nobody is free from blame here. I think it's been a particularly rough season for Willy Adames. You look up and he's at, 18 home runs now, and maybe he has a good second half, continues to, and he gets up to 30 home runs again, and he gets to around his, career average numbers, which is great. Congrats on that, Willy, but he would probably say this is the most frustrating season of his career, and it's for reasons that he deserves a lot of blame for, right? Like what happened in the earlier game in the series versus the Royals, where he thought the ball was foul. He didn't think the ball was coming to him at second base. He's standing at second base for the force, but instead of being on the bag, he's in front of the bag. He's talking with Mookie Betts, and maybe that is why he forgot how many outs there were. There's a lot of other examples of it. You just need to, as a manager, Dibs, whether your player deserves it or not, or whether you guys are best friends or not, your job is to try to get the best out of your players. And in that moment, when Willy Adames feels slighted, when he feels cheated, when he feels like something has gone against him, you go out. You don't, this isn't about being disrespectful to an umpire. It's just about going and showing support for your guy.
Right.
And I do think in that sense, Tony Vitello fell short yesterday.
And I think that the word that you used earlier in that is feel, like the feel for it. And Tony, of course, has no feel because he's going through it for the first time. And so the feel of it, and I'd have to go back to Tennessee and look at how many times he got thrown out of games and, what the circumstances were and what that actually was like. But if Tony Vitello was at Tennessee, you have a certain amount of feel, and whether or not you're on the road taking on Alabama or Arkansas, and it's a big spot, it's a big game, and you're trying to light a fire under your college team, you have that feel. He has no feel, and this is not a criticism. How could he have feel? There's no way you could have feel until you go through it, and so you get a spot like this where, is it challengeable? You probably realized right away that it's not, which seems a little bit weird to me, but when you think about the actual call itself, like if you wanted to go to video review, and if we go back to the World Cup and VAR, we're going to draw the box, and did he push him off? Well, his glove was there, and he was putting the tag on, and the guy did go off the base, but how much force was being applied from the glove to the hip, you'll never know, and that's why...
Judgment call.
Exactly. It's a judgment call that cannot be reviewed, and so you look at it, and you're in a spot where your team's been so bad for so long, you're in a skid, and your shortstop, who's a veteran, is thinking that he got wronged. Well, yeah, he looks over at you in the dugout, go out there and lose your Casey Schmidt. Yeah. And that basically is what I think that Willy Adames was looking for. I don't know about the other vets, but they're looking for you to come out here and say, look, we've lost, 4 in a row up to that point?
Yeah, at that point 4.
And now it's 5, and so you are so far below 500. You're going nowhere. You're heading toward 100 losses. Now's the time for you to come out and absolutely flip the lid. And instead, he comes out and, he's animated a little bit, and he's, concerned about what went on, and he used some 4-letter words, which is great. But I do think that...
Towards the end of it, he used some 4-letter words, it seems like.
I do think that in that spot, if you are a veteran, and believe me, the veterans, everyone on that team is frustrated as Tony Vitello. And so in that spot, that might be a great opportunity for you to come out and just absolutely lose your Schmidt.
It was a chance, and I think it was a missed opportunity to maybe not necessarily win people over, but support dudes in your clubhouse, and maybe things start working a little bit better going forward. Maybe you earn some respect from Willy Adames. And Willy Adames is not blameless here either. Like it seems from the outside looking in, this is a group that maybe doesn't totally respect their manager. And that's just me guessing. I don't have any inside information, but that's kind of what it feels like. The Devers example in Miami earlier when he was getting pinch run for and he gave Tony the finger. He wagged no, did the Dikembe Mutombo to him, and then was refusing to be touched or consoled in the dugout after that and went straight into the clubhouse. Like there's a lot of examples of it. It was a missed opportunity by Vitello. However, where I disagree with Shasky and his rant from this morning, which was great, way to go, Joe, this wasn't the moment that it convinced me that Vitello isn't, this didn't put me over the edge. I think I already had a feeling that this was a manager in Tony Vitello who isn't equipped to manage this group. It doesn't necessarily mean that he shouldn't be back next year, and we can talk about that when we come back. But I think most people probably already came to a conclusion one way or another about Vitello. But I know you have thoughts on that.